I'm a creative director for 2410 Studio. And lastly, I'm married to Oluwabusayo Joy. So that's a little about myself. And so let's have a
I'm
deep
creative
dive.
director for 2410 Studio.
Oh, sorry, my voice is. Can you hear me, please? Can you still hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So a brief outline of what we are going to talk about today is introduction to usability and UX in web design, key principles of usability, user experience design process, usability testing method, and best practices for usability for web, tools for UX and usability design, case studies, future trend in UX and usability. So these are the outline of things that we're going to touch today. So I'll be as fast as possible, but it will be very clear and understandable to everyone. So so now getting started. So we want to talk about the introduction to usability and UX in web design. So usability and user experience are fundamental concepts in the web design that focus on creating websites that are not only visually appealing, but they are also efficient, effective, and also satisfying. Now, let's pick this one after the other. What do we mean by if something should be efficient? Efficient means when a user are able to complete a particular task as fast as possible. They have experience of like the web design the web maybe that you design as a designer. It has a very good navigation. It has a good loading time. The instruction on the website is very good. That's when the website is very, very what efficient. And also, for us to have a usable website, like a usable web design, it should also be what efficient. What do you mean by efficient? When users are able to achieve their goals. Goals, what does that mean? Goals like maybe they are looking for a particular information on your website. They can easily do that, like without stress. For example, maybe they want to make a purchase. They can effectively do purchase without maybe contacting customer care, without contacting support. They can do that on their own seamlessly. Or maybe they want to fill a form. They were able to go to your website, for example, maybe a government website, like, okay, go and fill a form for maybe for support or for a loan or for a grant. When you go to the website, you're able to log in to the website, create an account, fill a form, and submit. So that's when the website is what is effective, which means it performs its goals. Users are able to achieve what they want to do on the website. And lastly, it should be satisfying. What does satisfying mean? It's pleasing, it's engaging, it has engaging experience, like living a positive experience with the users. Why, for example, they are not stuck to okay, I click maybe they click something wrong on the website, or maybe they went to different section, and it should be easy for them to go back. They should have overall experience should be very, very positive. So that is what we are going to deal with usability and UX for web design. So moving forward, now the concepts of usability on its own. Usability refer to easy use and learnability of a website. Like it should be easy to use and it should be learnable. Learnable does not mean you cram it, but you understand what is on the website itself. So it's about creating interface that users can quickly understand and navigate without frustration. That is what usable is like. For example, when you maybe when, for example, when we have sorry, can we hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So so when we mean a system should be usable, it's when user can quickly understand and navigate and do what they want to do without any frustration. That is what is usable. you were able to perform your task. Now, according to Jacob, this man is one of the pioneer of user experience design. And he has written some books that I've read some of it, which is like it's very, very knowledgeable. So he puts he categorizes usability into 5 different categories, which is learnability, efficiency, memorability, error, and satisfaction. Now, dealing with all these examples, dealing with all these all what he stated uh about usability. Now let's start with learnability. It's how easy for a user to accomplish basic tasks first time they land on maybe on a website or any digital interface. First time they can be able to achieve their task. First time they they land on the website. And second thing is efficiency, which we've talked about before. How quick they can easily perform the task that they are meant to do. How fast they can be able to do it. And also memorability. Memorability does not mean you should cram. Memorability means when user come back to the website that we design or website that we publish, that it's available for public. When they come on the website, they can easily perform the task over and over. Not that they need to crack their brain, they need to crack their head. How did I do it the first time that I did this? It should be the same seamless process without them having without them having any creative cognitive load on their head or stuff like that. And the next one is errors. What does errors mean? Error means how much error user make and how they are being minimized, like how much we can help user minimize making error on the website or on a digital platform. Let me give you an example. There was a time I want to fill a form for something here in UK. Now, I had the form in which I was filling with my friend. As we are filling the form, there was a particular phrase, a particular section that if you click that section, it's going to take you to somewhere else, and in which you will have to pay. Now, that error was there. It's not intentional, but the error that has been recurring, in which that organization, they always reach out to people. Okay, we understand you do this error. Normally, you should pay like for example, maybe you should pay like £2,000. But due to that, clicking on something that is not right, you paid maybe 800. They will now send you a correct invoice later. Like, okay, you click the wrong XYZ. That is why you charge, but the actual amount is this. This is the rest of the money that you need to pay. They will now send you an invoice that you have to pay. That error, it's continuous, in which they should have solved it, but I don't know. We don't know why they did not. So we should make sure we help user limit the error they are going to make when they use digital interface that we design, website that we design, even mobile apps. Everything I'm talking about here is also cut across web and mobile. So, but for now, we are dealing with web, basically. So, and also the last one is satisfaction. It's the overall experience of the users from login to the design, to the pictures, to the animation, to the completing of their tasks, to their site. It's just their overall experience and easy to use of their journey through the entire process of them being maybe on a website or digital platform that we designed. So that is little about usability. Now let's move to user experience. User experience encompass all aspects of users' interaction with the company, its service, and its product. It's a company, its service, and its product, like the overall experience that you have. It's not even about the product that you use alone, about every aspect of the business that you use. So, and also US goes beyond usability. It goes beyond you can use the product effectively. It includes aspects like user's emotion, perception, and overall journey a user takes when interacting on a website. So it's the overall engagement of the users within a product of a company. So in short, usability is like how usable a product is, while user experience is the entire experience that a user will have on a entire experience that a user might have on a digital platform. So here we have some key principles of usability. So sorry, 1 minute. So we have some key principles of usability. What are the key principles? First one is match between systems and real world. What does that mean? It's in a short term. What that means is when we design for web or as a designer as a whole, we should make sure we have a match with the system and in the real world. What that means is we should use terms that are understandable by the users. You should use phrase that the users are familiar with. We should use concepts that users knows. We should avoid giving them terminologies that they don't even understand, or they will have to go and bring a dictionary to be able to understand. So it's just like matching the real world with the system. In short, like okay, let's use what users understand. For example, from the navigation to the content that we have on the website, down to the image they are familiar with. Imagine you designing something for Nigeria as an African, like it's calling Nigerian product, and you are using a white image, white people's image. That's out of it. Or for example, you are using terminologies in accounting on your own page in which a regular user does not know and they don't even know what that means. So we have to make sure we know how to um, balance how we have to know how to balance what we dish out to the users in which if they don't understand, because not everyone will understand some terms and some other stuff that might be ambiguous for them to be able to comprehend at an instant. So another thing is control and freedom. We should, as a designer, we should let user have control and freedom of themselves when they use the service or the product that we design on the web. Why? Because you won't want them to keep on coming to your customer care, to your customer service, and also even if they make mistake, there should be an like exit point for them to like exit and maybe to start all over, or just let them have freedom of what they want to do. If they make a mistake, there should be a way for them to go back. If everything is right, you will not need there won't be a need for them to maybe calling customer care, send you email, doing call, chatting with your bot and the likes like that. Though there are some that are non-avoidable, but we should make sure we reduce it as much as possible. And another thing is consistency and standard. So for this consistency and standard, it deals with as the word consistency. It should make sure as a designer, everything that we do is consistent. Everything that we design is consistent. How can we do that? Through design system, through style guide, through brand guide, and a lot of stuff like that that are available by the business, that in which, for example, it can happen in so many ways. For example, it can be maybe in form of a button. Imagine you have a button that have a rounded corner, and we get to that page, it has a sharp edge. Or another example, you use XYZ font on here, and the other page you use another font in which does not tally with what you use on the first page. Also, and also consistency cut across a lot of things in which we're not actually be able to talk to on this call, but consistency, there are a lot of things we can learn about consistency. If you're free, you can check it out. What can make your design consistent? So, for example of it is using a style guide, using a design system that is well designed for the particular brand or particular business. And also, another principle is recognition rather than recall. Recognize, for example, I don't know if majority of us is from Nigeria. If there is a brand, telecommunication company in Nigeria called MTN, if anybody asks you which network use yellow as their color, you will a majority of people will tell you is MTN. Why? Because they have been consistent over time. And you anywhere you see yellow, you know it's MTN. Anywhere you see yellow, you know what is MTN. So all those things, these are things that build consistency, that build trust with user when they land on a particular website or digital platform that we design. And another point is aesthetics and minimalist design. So what does this mean? Is just good design and make it as simple as possible. Like make it as simple as possible. The lesser the information, the better. The lesser the design, the better. Why? Because it will avoid distraction from, okay, where am I to click? Where do I have to go to? Which section should I have to click here? So those things are very, very avoidable if our design is aesthetic and what it has a minimalist design. So I don't know if anybody have a question at this point or I should proceed. Okay, if there's none, let me proceed. So now we are moving to the section where we have user experience, user experience design process. Now, for us to design a very good user experience, like for user to have a good experience, there are some processes that we need to follow. Like they are very, very, these processes are proven good process that we can follow as a designer, which will make our work much easier. Which I'll start first with user research. Now, what is user research? What does it mean? User research mean like it helps us to research and understand our target audience, to know their pinpoints, to know their need, to know their wants, because they're different between need and they're different between need. There's also different between want. So if we can through research, we can be able to pinpoint all these things out. So now, and for us to have a very good user research, the first thing that we are going to do as a researcher, as a designer, is research your user. And how do you research them? First, research also has its own section on its own. Like there are people that focus on user research, like solely, they only do user research. While some people do UX design, some people do UI. So this field is a little bit broad, but I'll just talk a little about what it takes to be, what it takes to do research for a web design interface. So the first one is identifying the objective of why you are designing for the web or why you are designing that product. Identify the main objective, why you are designing. Okay, why is because maybe we want to launch a new product for XYZ company, for XYZ user, and stuff like that. And for us to be able to move forward to that, there are different methods of research that we can do. We have quantitative and qualitative. So, but I won't bother us with that. For example, there are some times you have to do interview, like you have to talk with those users. You speak to them, okay, we are trying to build maybe a fintech app for the less privileged. Who do you talk to? People that are less privileged. So you need to know their struggles, you need to know what they want to, if with this product will be suitable for them, will they be able to use it? So if you understand your user, it will help you a lot of time. For you, it will even save you a lot of money, because if you do products that they don't need, you will waste a lot of money, you will waste your time, you will waste resources and stuff like that. So if we have adequate research, then it will really help us to be able to identify what and what we are to design as a designer. So then another thing that I'm going to talk about is ideation. Now, after we finish our research, we collect data, we collect information from users, then we put them all together. Sorry, let me stop this. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so then we move to ideation. Now, what does ideation mean? Ideation mean is like when we put ideas together. For example, when you get your information from your user, like through your research, okay, they want They want to be able to log in as fast as possible. They want to be able to withdraw money to their account. They want to be able to, when you get all those information from the users, which is through research, then that is when we move to ideation. Now, what does ideation mean? This is what an example of ideation. This is when you put different ideas together, maybe with your team and stuff like that. You put different ideas together. Okay, this one will not work. You can cross it out. This one will work. Then putting all the ideas that comes from the research that you did and from maybe from competitive products that are in the same industry together, put them together. Okay, this one will work, this one will not work. So that is what ideation means, like putting ideas together from research or from previous experience. Then after you put this idea together, then you can draw the personas. What it actually means is it's like a fiction. I think I have an example here. Now, this is what a persona looks like. Now, persona is like a fictional yet a realistic representation of your target audience. So, for example, from the research that you've done, you can be able to create a persona. It's like, okay, you are just imagining like your user on how they are, who they are, what they need, what they want, which is coming from the research that you did earlier on. So, for example, just an example, bio, personality, motivation, their goals, their frustrations, influence, and there are little data about them. So in short, user personas is just like humanizing the research that you did earlier. So that's just about that. Then the next one is a user flow. Now, user flow, what does that mean? Is like it shows uh the flow, just as it sounds, user flow, how user move from point A to point B. Like, okay, if user open and maybe open a website, maybe they will go from point A to maybe create an account, point B, sign up, point C, enter their personal details, point D, do this till the end. So that is the flow. Like, okay, and having this flow, we make our work easier. Why? Because we can easily, as a designer, we can easily track. Okay, if user go from here to here, they go from here to here, they go from here to here. If you solidify your idea that you have, you solidify it on your user flow diagram, it will be easier for you. It will not make you make much error, though it's still prone to changes, but it will give you straight guidance on what you are doing, where you are going, what you have done, and what you have not done. So as you can see, this is just an example. You can see here, okay, this starts registration, new, if person is not a, if this person is not registered, user registration, then you log in, you stop, this is stop button, then view account status. So this is just the flow and direction in which we help you as a designer to guide you on how you want to design the interface of what the user will experience, which is called a user flow, as the word user flow. How this flow from point A to point B till what? Till they complete confirm order, till when they complete a particular task you want them to do. So that is what user flow is. Then next is sketch. Now, when you do the user flow, then you can start sketching. Okay, this is what I feel the screen should looks like. This sketch is, it can be pencil, it can be biro, it can be anything. So this is just for you to put your ideas together. Okay, if we do this like this will go here, this will go here, this will go here. So, but with this idea, you'll be able to visualize, okay, you'll be able to visualize on how the interface will look like. And best thing is you can easily make corrections here. If you solidify your sketch, you can easily make correction as fast as possible. Okay, this one will not work. Let us move it to this section. This section will not work. Let us change it. Compared to when you've designed a OPIC that you need to make changes and stuff like that. So this is, then next we move to sketch. Then after sketch, we move to low fidelity and high fidelity. So when you've completed this, then you move to low fidelity. Low fidelity is just like a digital form of your sketch, which is just like different. It just look like, okay, this is what it looks like. This can be text. This one looks like image. These ones are tabs. This is for web. This is a mobile app. Anyway, I'll still show you the web version. So this is a This is what's it called? Section where it just looks like low version, gray color, no color, nothing distracting. It's just showing the architecture of how it will look in on the final stage. And then this is the high fidelity. This is what it looks like. This is actually for a mobile. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, it has the same structure. Look at it. The header here is this section, the text is the text, this button, this is the button, this is this rating, this is it. And here we have tabs. As you can see, this is the tabs that we have. It's actually a website, but on a mobile version. So this is the tabs, and you can see it here. It's the same thing. So it's just like converting low fidelity to high fidelity. And this is the website version of like the full website. This is what it can look like. This is low fidelity, this is high fidelity. As you can see, it has the same structure. See, this one is here, this is this is this. So this one, if your design is still on the low fidelity, it's easier to make changes before you start pouring in colors, pouring in all the details that you have to do, which we also what it will also save you time. And next thing is after we do that, then when we finish the high fidelity, and best thing and that thing that we need to do is testing. Testing in such a way that, okay, when we design for this particular audience, or when we design for our user, we need to know if what we design actually meet the need of the user that we design it for. Like if they understand, if it's usable for them, if they can be able to understand what we have on the website, the context, the tasks that we want them to do, the activity that they need to do, the color, they understand the images, they understand how to navigate. So we need to test it with actual users to know so that we can be able to do correction as fast as possible before we launch. So then and also, we sometimes also do A and B testing to test if option A will work better or option B. This is what an A and B testing looks like. It might look the same, but some sections will sometimes we do A and B testing to know which will convert more customer more. So, for example, this website looks the same, but there are some things that are not the same. For example, this section is not the same thing as this section. So, this is A and B testing to know if A works for user or B works for users. So then from there, you'll be able to know, okay, then let us go for A because it converts more, or let's go for B because what it converts more. And the goal of a lot of businesses is for them to make sales, is for them to have more users, is for them to be able to help users to achieve a particular task or the other. So with this, speaking to your users, doing user research and also testing with them, will help us to be able to have a solid understanding of what the user want and what they need. So with this point, when we have tests with the user, it will help us understand if we really speak the language that our user they really need. So yeah, that is it. And the next one is called feedback loop and continuous improvement. So when we do user testing on the web, then we keep open feedback. Why? Because um, it can be perfect on the first. It's possible it's perfect on the first iteration, but since we keep coming back, okay, we need this, we need that, we need this, we need that from the user. Then the business can start improving on what they have, improving on what they have till everything is what is solid. But most times it's not always solidified on the first iteration. But when we keep on open a feedback loop and keep improving the website, we keep improving the design to suit the users and also to meet the business goal. Yeah, that is when things start getting much better for the business and also for the user. So usability testing method. There are different usability testing method. We have think alike protocols. What is think alike protocols? What it means is, for example, um, you want to test this with a user. When the user is using this particular, maybe when they're on the page or when they're on the website, maybe when they're on the page or when they're on the website, you tell them to speak up, like you know their mind. maybe when they are doing it, they keep talking, and so that's think aloud protocol. You let them speak, express themselves. So with expression, it will give you more insight on what the user think and how what they feel at the particular moment when they are using the system or the application. So and next thing is remote usability testing. This one is physical. This one, it can be any one of it. You can also do it online, in person, or remote. And also, there's something that also we need to consider, which is what accessibility testing, in which I will get there later. I will get to this. I'll get to this later. So, next thing is best practices for usable web design. We should make sure we have a clear navigation, responsive website. For example, the website should be responsive on web and also on the mobile, also on tablet, on any device, it should be responsive. Then also we should make sure the page loading speed is faster, not putting too much heavy images that user have to wait for like maybe 2 minutes before a page loads. Seconds, it's okay for a page to load. Content readability, the content should be legible enough that is readable to everybody. Everybody should understand what it is, what they are seeing. And also they can be able to adjust the fonts and stuff like that. Then we have accessibility. I'll get to this later also. Then we have consistent design. The design, we should make sure our design is very, very what? Consistent. Like, okay, for example, the header, maybe you use 64, and maybe on the other page you are using 22. No, that doesn't work like that. If you use a good design system and a style guide, it will help you make your work consistent. Also, um, error error handling. Then we should make sure we reduce errors that user can make regardless. We should make sure it's as low as possible. Then clear call to action. Call to action is like CTA, like, okay, what's clear? Let me see if I can show an example. Most of us might know, but let me just find an example. This is a call to action. Continue, CTA. This is a call to action, learn more. This is a call to action, learn more. This is a call to action. 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 So clear call to action. Then the next thing is white space. So I will still come back to this reference. Can we see this white space? White space does not mean it should be white, but space that's a breathing space for your design. So this is an example. As you can see, this also on this page, as you can see that this space, look at this space. You are focusing directly on what they are saying here. That is what is called white space. White space does not mean to be, it's not a must, it should be a white, but it's giving breathing space for your design to breathe. So look at this also. See, it's very clear and concise. So this, look at this also. See this one. So it helps your work, it helps you focus directly on the information that you are trying to let them to use. Because what you use a white space for users to be able to concentrate on a particular thing at a time. And next is yeah. So these are the best practices. There are still more, but this is the little I lay my hand upon for best practices for web design. And also some case studies. For example, if you want to see case studies of a well-designed website, you can check Airbnb, redesign, UK, gov.uk. This gov.uk, they have a very sophisticated design system. They have a sophisticated website in which when you go to any website that is government in UK, you will know that this system is your government website. You will know, no, without anybody telling you. Why? It's because they've built consistency over their platform. Like any government website is consistent. You will know that this is because why they've consistency have been there from day one. Also, MTN. When you go to MTN office, you will know definitely to be yellow. Let's check. MTN Nigeria. It will be yellow. Everything will be there. Like even to the font, you will know that there. I don't know if you have noticed, but for me, the MTN has a very distinct font that you know that okay, this is MTN. For example, this is their G. I don't know if I've seen the G somewhere. Their color is yellow. Everything about their business is yellow. Their font is consistent. Their design is consistent. Their icon is consistent. content, everything you need to do, you can do it seamlessly without any stress. And also we have Apple. So Apple also they have a very good case study that you can also check out. Then feature trend to feature trend in UX and usability. We have voice user interface, though this is still coming up. Now that we have AI, there are some voice assistant that will be needed design in years to come. Virtual reality and augmented reality, AI, machine learning and the likes, and more. So lastly, I said I'll get back to this, what I was talking about here, accessibility. So let me just ship this in as fast as possible. So accessibility consideration, we need to, this topic, I will just say it brief for us to have understanding a little bit about what it is about accessibility, right? Accessibility is just like, accessibility is like making sure the web is accessible to everyone, regardless of who you are. Maybe you are disabled, maybe you have visual impairment, maybe you have auditory, maybe you have hearing impediment. So also we can in Nigeria we call it, if the person is blind, if the person is deaf, if the person is can't even see, you should be able to use the web. Now, so another thing is we should ensure that animation and interactions are accessible to all users, including those with disabilities. Now, there's a body called Web Content Accessibility Guideline. There is a whole body that governs this accessibility section, where they provide guidelines that we should follow as a designer, as a developer, in which we're able to design a web that is accessible to everybody, So I will show you some examples. For example, keyboard navigation. What does that mean? Keyboard navigation mean, like, for example, maybe I'm an amputee, which I'm not. For example, I'm an amputee, and I want to navigate maybe from XYZ. I can't use my mouse, but I can tap. So what do? I can use my keyboard to move from one section to another. Let me show you an example. Let's just use this as an example. Now, I want to no. Let's use this website as an example. I don't know. Let me check if this is accessible with keyboard. What I just need to do is to tap. What I just need to do is to tap. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's use this page. What I just need to do is to tap my tab key, tab key on my computer. Can you see, as this education, as you can see, I'm pressing tab. Can you see it? I can move from one section to another. Imagine I can't use my mouse, I can't use my keyboard, I don't have a hand, I can only tap. Instead of me using my mouse, I can easily use a tab. So this website is accessible to what? To keyboard. So yeah, that is point one. Then the next thing is alt text. Now, there are some people that they can't see, like people with visual impairments. We call them blind in Nigeria. So but it's called, professionally it's called visual impairment. So what visual impairment, what it does is, sorry, what this alternate text, what this does is, for example, people that with visual impairments, they can't see what's on the computer. For example, you post a picture of couples, or this particular picture here, they don't know what it is. But if we add alt text to our design when they develop it, it will be able to, that alt text, for example, in that alt text, you will add a description, you will explain what this image is. Excuse me, you will explain what this image, what it is on maybe on the website or stuff like that. Let me see if I can show you an example. Framework. Let me see if I can show you an example of what an alt text means. So I don't know if you can see my screen. Hello? Hello?
Yes, I can see your
Okay.
screen.
Okay. So I want to show you an example of what an alt text means. Let me just look for one image. Just give me 1 minute. Oh, shit. I'm looking for just one image. I want to show you something. 1 minute. Okay, let me open this one. So now, if we are designing for web, for example, someone that is blind cannot see this image. But when this image can be, we can add alt text to it. How do we do that? For example, when they have the image, we have, see, alt text description. You just explain this particular image, maybe a boy in a forest with a sunlight or stuff like that. Explain it here. So when you publish it and when someone with visual impediment, when they get to that particular section, they have something they call screen reader. The screen reader will only read what the description that we added to that particular image. So do we give them clue of what they can see? It will explain to them, okay, with an image of a boy in front of the sunlight, X, Y, Z. So that is how alt text work. Then the next thing is color contrast. We should also make sure we use contracts that are very, very, very visual, not too much faint or gray colors. Then create captions and receipts. This one is most times is on videos, and in which we can see those on YouTube. They have a lot of it, and which they've actually done a very pretty good job in doing that. Let's see if let me just open a picture. Let me find a way to open one. Let me see. Okay, let me open this picture. Let me open this video. This is just an
In this
example.
video, I want to share some sources.
So look at, let me see, does this one have, yeah, look at this. When you click this, can you see it explain what that person is saying in the video?
Of income with you,
Can you
or
see?
things that you can do for yourself with some effort to get.
So those are captions and transcripts. So transcripts are maybe you are doing a meeting, transcripts take receipts of all what everyone said on the calls and stuff like that. So this is the little I have for what we have today, which is usability and UX for web design. So thank you very much. Once again, I'm Olabode Felix. You can connect on Twitter, UI UX Artistry. So yeah, so I don't know if anybody have a question for me or any addition, any subtraction. The floor is open. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Felix, for that. I'm very sure that we've really gotten a lot about what usability means and how Jacob was able to introduce the 5 operating processes we strive for in usability. Um, also, he also talked about user experience and how you can structure a process to creating a successful website.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. So again, I'm just going to iterate. If we have any questions, we can start. So I see that Peter is raising his hand, so I'm gonna,
Okay.
yeah, let me see. Give me a second here. Allow. So Peter, you can ask your questions now.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that.
Hello, Peter, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. So thank you very much, sir, for that one. So I wanted to just make a request. It's not really a question. That
Okay.
some of the files you used, in, like for example, the presentation you used,
Okay.
I don't know if you can have it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
one.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Then the second one is the Figma files for
Okay.
those especially the one before user flow. There was one good. That was
Do you mean these ones?
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
The what's this one? The persona, yeah, user persona, user flow, and some of these things. I don't know if you can
I
have
will
access to
send the
that.
I will send everything. I will send everything across to
Yeah, so
Mr. Adi.
you get
So,
everything through
so,
Madojo community. Yeah,
Someone
thank you,
should,
sir.
Peter is raising his hand. Peter, listen on me.
Yeah, that's Peter.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So next person is Kendi. Yes. Kenny, you can unmute your mic and talk.
Right, thank you. All right, thank you, Mister. Actually came in late, and then I want to know what app are we using to develop this design and for the training, please.
Sorry, come again.
I want to know which app are we using here because I think I'm seeing something like Figma. It's very tiny. Is that what you are using to explain the
Do you mean
presentation?
no? This is Google slide.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a Google slide. Though Figma has
I
a
miss the
stuff they have. This is a Google slide.
So you can we are going to post the video link
okay.
the YouTube video because we've actually been streaming to YouTube all the way. So
Okay.
you check the community, you will see the YouTube link there so that you can follow along with everything that's being said. And then you can also like post questions in Freema Dojo community, and there are people there available to answer those questions. Yeah. Any other? Okay, so Faith, over to you, Faith Adeleke.
All right, thank you so much. Can you hear me very well?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, all right. Once again, I want to appreciate the team for putting this together. It's really needed at this time. A question I wanted to ask. I have two questions actually. One has been answered. I just want to clarify if, and that is after this video lecture, we're going to have access to the video again because I came a bit late, right? That is through the YouTube community. Am I right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, through the WhatsApp community, like there's a WhatsApp community.
Yes, sir.
So you the link of the YouTube link will be posted there.
All right. All right.
Yes.
We'll be expectant of that. And okay, is it also on the WhatsApp community that the first person that asked a question about what he was teaching on user phase, user that, is it also on the WhatsApp community that we're going to have access to that?
Yes, on the slides, everything is going to be, all the materials are going to be inside the community.
All right.
After
All
yeah,
right, sir.
yes.
The second question will be that are there suggestions of where to, maybe after taking this course now, and then we can really say we are now UX designers. Are there places you can suggest for to seek for job and all that, maybe online jobs, or maybe links that you share with us and all that?
That will be after the entire program. So it's actually a 6-month program, and it's only open to like people who had already joined. I think about 1 month ago now, right? So we have like these online sessions so that we allow other people to participate in some of our classes, but not all. And if you are going to participate, you have to send a DM to the host on Freema Dojo, and we can see how we can slot you in. Other than that, it's a it's just a different. It's mostly about learning and teaching on general training on how you can become a better designer, how you can apply for jobs, places you can apply for jobs, and so on and so forth like that. Uh Wait again. Okay. So over to you, Lay.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Felix and Mr. Tujo. So on most case studies I've checked on Behance, I noticed that most people use user personas and empathy maps. So I'd like to know the differences between user persona and empathy maps. Thank you very much.
Okay. Felix, you want to take it or should I take it? Felix.
You can take it. You can take it if you want. You can take
Okay,
it.
so when we talk about user persona, we are literally just looking at a fictional but realistic expectation that users have. But when we look at empathy map now, this is a I'm trying to look for a simpler word to use. Okay, let me just use it as it comes to my head right now. So empathy map basically is all about the analysis of your user. So when we talk about the analysis of your user now, we are looking at four major things. Like it's very broad, but like we are mostly looking at four major things. So the things we are looking at in or the basic goal of an empathy map right now is to actually underline one, what does it user think about an idea or a problem? Two, how do they feel about that problem? Three, what are they already doing around that problem in order to like figure a way out? Because the thing is, there's now if somebody has a problem, they will probably have something they're already doing in order to like figure out that problem, right? So, and when you think about it holistically as empathy map, right? It's just a map to show you, okay, this is exactly where the user is at the moment, right? So, and then we are looking at it from what they feel as opposed to a general story. So we mostly take the data that we get from empathy map. So and we mostly take the data that we get from let me just explain the overall process so you can see the clear picture. So we start from the research, and then once one of the ways in order for us to like make sense of that research. So for example, we can ask like 10, 20, 50, 100 people via think
Protocol.
aloud process or ethnographic research. You can read up on ethnographic research. And based off of all of these all surveys, and based off all of these surveys now, it's very difficult for us to like understand exactly what we want to do. So what we usually do is that we start with empathy map or affinity map. Now, but there are two different empathy and affinity map that are different. But in terms of empathy map now, we're just thinking about what did they see? How do they feel about it, right? So we categorize this thing into a 4-point map, and then we start taking different information that we are reading about different users, and then we are placing them into maps one after the other, placing them into maps one after the other. And then when we are done with that now, we now begin to categorize that, okay, it's like out of 20 or 20 users, 5 or 10 people are feeling exactly the same way. 5 or 10 people are saying the exact same things. They may not use the exact same words, right? But they are literally referring to the same themes. Okay. And so now we'll not take that a step further by putting them now into the personal into becoming a persona. So instead of like, and the reason we initially created a persona is that it is very easy for PMs as well as stakeholders to really understand what we are saying, what we are trying to say, or when we are trying to like say, okay, this is the idea for what we want to do, right? So we are saying that okay, we've analyzed over 30 people, and then based on that 30 people, we're able to synthesize 4 or 3 people for each, and 3 people for each are referring to very distinct themes. However, we now want to like personalize what three or each people are saying based on specific themes, right? So and that's where we now introduce the user persona so that now we cannot address that okay, oh, these 3 people are saying the exact same thing. So let's just create a fiction person. But
Yeah, they just use this. Look at this illustration here so you can compare it together.
yeah, yeah,
Can you
yeah.
see my screen?
Let me even use that as an so
Yeah.
these 3 people now, give me a second. These 3 people now, they are saying the exact same thing. They are thinking the exact same way. They are doing the exact same thing. They are feeling the exact same way. So we categorize them under one person, right? And then we just think of a name. So now when we are having meetings or discussions, right, we can just say the legging lady or the man that does not like rice, right? And because I'm just like food rice, so we can use that name to quickly talk about like, okay, this is exactly what they want, this is exactly what they feel, this is exactly what they say, right? So that is how you translate your empathy map to your personal. And so in a way, they look alike, but they are not the same. And they are not the same is because you are grouping a set of people to becoming one entity so that you are able to communicate clearly with your teams. That is pretty much why persona is very, very important in your design. For example, now in the real world, we most likely will not use persona sometimes. And the reason is because if I already know like okay, 3, 4, 5 people, or if it's a very, very small team, it's not a very large team. If you are working like maybe you have like 2 designers in the team, or it's just you and your PM, right? Everybody has literally gone through this document and all like that. It's easy for them to like quickly relate. But when you are beginning to have like over 30 people or 40 people in your team, in your design team, or you have like um you have like multiple design teams in different countries, right? And the research was taken like in a totally different country. So you want to simplify all of this down into a what? A persona. So you most likely just present a persona to them because they've known that you've done your research, you've done your synthesis with either affinity map, empathy map, and then you've consolidated all of those information into what? The persona. So based on what they are seeing at the persona now, is what is actually a child of what? The empathy map. Does that make sense? Hello? I don't think Leia is on the call.
I think she's muted or something.
Okay. Faith, is your hand still raised? This have another question. Um, Leia, any other question?
I think it's the previous hand they raised earlier or
Okay,
something.
okay, cool. So, thank you so much, guys, for coming to the call. We are going to be having more live classes like this, and if you want to join the main cohort that is going currently, you can message the admin on Freema Dojo community, and they can figure out how they can bring you in. My name is not Mr. Adojo. My name is Adebimpe Omolasho. I'm a UX staff designer at Now Site in Canada. I'm also part of the people that um, brought about Firma Dojo to help other designers to get to their next level, pretty much so. Um, thank you so much, guys, for coming again. Please do have a wonderful day. And again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone for wherever you are.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.